What's up, YouTube? There's actually a point that I left out, a little piece of paper that I forgot to talk to you guys about. Um, Now it's very important. By the way, I'm 4 years and 2 months sober from weed. If you want the most specific advice on how to quit smoking weed, watch videos 4, 5, and 6. Okay. All right, now watch this. Very interesting. Okay. I was gonna say was let's say was 1 second. All right. Smoking weed is selfish. It's very, very, very selfish of you to smoke weed. For instance, selfish in plenty of ways. Okay, let's say one way is you've got some gift. Everyone's here for a reason. I really do believe that. So let's say you've got some gift. Okay, some gift to the world. Somehow you're gonna like help someone. Somehow you're gonna do something in this world that's gonna be a gift to maybe your family, maybe the world, maybe people, maybe random people. Um, maybe you'd be a great politician and help change something somewhere wherever you live, or whatever. Or maybe you would be like a great scientist, or maybe you would be like maybe your family really needs you to pull it together and help contribute financially. You know, there's something you could be doing that you're not doing because you smoke weed. Um, so, like, for instance, the most common one is probably help your family financially, or even if you've got something like some sort of a political point of view that and if you, in that you believe strongly in, and the world would be a better place if you would just take steps into I don't know, moving forward and making that stuff realistic somehow. Um, or maybe starting a family. Maybe you're like this great guy, and maybe there's this girl out there, and you guys are meant to meet and get married and have sex and have kids. Maybe that, and maybe you guys will never meet, and maybe she'll always be unhappy because of that, and you'll always be happy because of that. And when you smoke weed, the kind of people you bump into are usually not the best people, so you're probably not going to bump into her doing the things that you do. Quick example, let me branch off right here, and I'll come back to this. Now, let's say you in your lifestyle right now, you smoke weed, you hang out with your buddies that smoke weed, etc., and you go to school or you go to work, and then after work you come home and blaze it, basically. The kind of people you bump into doing stuff like that, you're probably not going to bump into Mrs. Right. I mean, especially if all you do is like work and blaze or just blaze, and you're unemployed and you just blaze. Um, the places you put yourself, the situations you find yourself in, are not going to be situations that you're going to bump into any good girls with, or if you're a girl, any good guys. But most people who smoke bud are probably guys, so that's why I'm speaking on behalf of guys. Um, but like for instance, when I quit smoking weed, all of a sudden I wound up in a huge bookstore called Barnes and Noble. And before I quit smoking weed, I was never in there. And I remember the first time I went to Barnes and Noble, I was like, "Oh my gosh, there are so many like good girls in here, like really good girls, right? Like a high, extremely high volume of them." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen this many good girls in one place, or like in one day even, and let alone they're all in the same place." Another place I went to after I got sober was church. I haven't been to church in a long time. I was like, oh my gosh. Not only are there a bunch of good girls, there's a bunch of good people here. Everyone is good. Little kids are good. Parents are good. Like people are good. People my age, guys and girls. I make friends with these people at church, and it feels so weird to have friends that are good people. Because I'm used to having these friends that are just like jerks. They're like selfish, and it's just kind of like, what do you want kind of a mentality. Kind of like they won't even do. I mean, unless there's something in it for them, they're not really interested in whatever it is. I mean, that's smoking weed for long enough. That's how you become. I mean, like seriously. And I know it sounds like I'm being stereotypical and all that stuff, but really, like that happens to you after a while. Um, you turn into this freaking horrible person, in my opinion. But anyway, um, so yeah, let's say let's say between now and 5 years from now, you keep living life the same way, right? And let's say your Mrs. Right. Let's say you're gonna meet her somewhere that's not tainted, somewhere that's not like a crack house or a freaking a weed clinic anywhere where you're normally at, where whatever it is, bar. Um, she you guys will never meet. Like let's say you were never destined to smoke weed. I don't think anyone was put on this earth to do drugs. By the way, I don't think God was just like, I give you the destiny of one day trying weed out and never stopping and always doing drugs. Off you go. I think smoking weed is like the Adam and Eve moment where you like sidetrack and do what you weren't supposed to do. You know what I mean? But if you were living your destiny, maybe God put it in your life to, like, let's say 1 year from now, meet this girl. Like you were always supposed to meet her 1 year from now. You guys are supposed to bump into each other at this one place that's innocent. It's like not in any way drug related or alcohol related. Okay, and it's a place that you wouldn't even go to now that you live this way. But if you were to quit living that lifestyle, you would go off and do things, and you would wind up at this place one day and you would bump into her. You know what I mean? Now, if all you do is kind of like that one lifestyle where whatever you do, like for me it was just like go to Narc's house, go to this one guy's house and smoke weed with all my friends, or maybe this other kid's house and smoke weed with all these friends, and go to work, get off, go smoke, get off, go to work, get off, go smoke, get off, go to work, get off, go smoke, whatever. You're never gonna bump into. There's only a handful of girls that would go to these people's houses anyway, and they were like trampy, dude, and they looked like crap. They would smoke, so they even look worse, and then they smelled like crap, and because they smoke. I mean, they were just like, I don't want to have anything to do with these girls to begin with. And on top of that, the only reason they're there is because they have like a boyfriend already, and he's there or something, or they've already had sex with someone in that group. It's just like, I really want to have something to do with her, Anyway, if you're living that lifestyle, you're gonna miss that opportunity where you were supposed to be there and meet that girl. But if you quit living that lifestyle, you're gonna be like, okay, what do I do now? And you're gonna go off and do stuff, and you're eventually gonna bump into her. Whether it's you're gonna bump into her like at the bookstore, you're gonna bump into her like at the gym, someplace that you probably would never go if you smoke weed, or hardly go, or get a membership and then not go anymore and still pay. Um, anyway, there's that, um, and when you smoke weed, it's like smoking weed occupies the crap out of you, and you don't do anything else other than smoke weed in a little way. Like, I mean, you do the necessary things, like, okay, I have to go to work, and I have to eat, sleep, and crap. But other than that, I'm just kind of a pothead, you know? But, like, everyone I know that's ever sobered up, they didn't, like, just get sober and everything else stayed the same, and the only difference is that now they don't smoke. It's like they will quit smoking and then all of a sudden go off and do stuff. They would call me up and be like, you know what? Like for me, I quit smoking weed and I started playing hockey. I called up a bunch of hockey rinks and I was just like, hey, how much is it to play there? How much is it to play there? I just joined a hockey team like right away. I quit smoking weed and I started playing hockey. I quit smoking weed and I went off and bought another guitar and I bought all this recording equipment. I started playing guitar like all the time and recording. I quit smoking weed and I just started going off and applying myself in all kinds of stuff. I applied myself in all these different things, and I don't want to like bore you with them and tell you what it is I did. I mean, I started a business, and I'm not just me. I mean, that happens. Like you quit smoking weed, and you start going back to school. You quit smoking weed, and you just start doing stuff. It's weird. It's kind of like if you smoke, like you can smoke weed, but you can't do anything. It's kind of like you made this decision. Like, what are you gonna do? Okay, you can go off and be independent and do whatever you want in this world, and you could be whatever you want to be as long as you apply yourself, and you can go off and do all these great things, and you can just live the American dream, or you can live a so-so life and be a pothead and just kind of like live below your means and just kind of like pretty much your whole life will just evolve around weed and you won't really do much other than smoke weed, but you will get the bare minimum, don't get me wrong. You'll probably have a job and you'll probably be able to make it to class and stuff like that, but other than that, you're just gonna be kind of like sacrifice. You can have all this stuff, or you can just have weed. And if you choose weed, then you're stuck in that mode until you stop. It's like, okay, weed, weed, weed. Yeah, I think it would be so cool to play hockey, and I think it would be so cool to go to the gym regularly and exercise and be in shape. And I think it would be so cool to like go on a diet and just like look my best and just eat like the best, healthiest foods. And I think it would be so cool to do all these things, but I'm just going to talk about them. I'm not really going to do any of them. And then the moment you quit weed, now you're free and you're able to do all this stuff that everyone wants to do. You got something you want to do, and everyone has something they want to do. Very few people don't want to do anything, and very few people are naturally apathetic. Smoking weed makes you apathetic. Apathetic just means you kind of don't want to do anything. Um, so yeah, man, it's kind of like you've been in smoking weed makes you in this invisible jail, and as soon as you quit smoking weed, now you're out. Now the bar's lifted up, and you're out of jail, and it's like you just like everything is free. You're just like, oh my gosh, I want to do, and you just go run off, and you just want to try everything. You're just like, dude, I never knew this tasted so good, man. I never knew. You try everything, and then you stick to some stuff too. Just like, yeah, man, I took up swimming again. I'm gonna be a lifeguard. I started going to this place, and I started going to church. I made new friends, and I started playing soccer again, and whatever. Everyone just it's hard anyway. Back to this point over here. You're being selfish, bro. You could be like you could be keeping yourself from meeting this girl that would make you extremely happy, make her extremely happy. Like you are the one and only for her, and she's never gonna meet you because you're being so selfish with your time and you're giving all this time and money to weed. Or you could be a good father to and husband if you're already married and have kids, or if you already have a kid. I know a few people that have kids and they're not good fathers. All they do is blaze. I'm in my head. I'm like, why are you coming to hang out with me right now? Like, shouldn't you be like at home, like taking care of your kid? Like, and that was when I was smoking, and now that I don't smoke, I just recently picked this one kid up from this one of my friends up from this other kid's house at 3:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, and I was like, dude, you should be like taking care of your. You should be a father right now. You shouldn't be off trying to get high and have fun and have a blast on a Tuesday, man. That's disgusting. That's sad. And he was hanging out with like some guys that are like 15 years older than him, and they're like really bad influences. I'm just like, oh wow, man. I was shaking my head at him. But anyway, you're just being selfish, man. And you might be like saying that you want to help people, and you might be saying that you want to do things and stuff. But how selfish is it of you to just keep yourself from everything? To just keep yourself from helping others. Keep yourself like imagine all the money you spend on weed. I've done the math. Okay, if you smoke the most cheap weed in the world, that's $5 a bag. Okay, that's stress. That's swag. That's Reggie. Okay, $5 times 30. That's $150 a month. Now, if you are, let's say your family needs help paying bills and stuff, that's $150 a month that you spend on nothing. I mean, you don't need it, and you could be giving it to them, or maybe you have a kid. You can be buying your kid freaking food and clothes, whatever, but you're being selfish with it. Now, if you're like me and my friends, you smoke $20 worth of weed a day, that's $600 a month. Okay, $600 a month. Man, do you know what you could do with $600 a month? That's probably like tuition. I mean, you could be like saving up for some kid's college fund. You could be paying your own college fund. You could be like helping your family out like crazy with bills, helping people. You could be giving that to charity if you care so much about the world like you say you do, and you want to help people like you say you do, which is probably isn't really true. You just think that because since I smoked what's natural, I must care a lot about stuff because whatever, making stuff up. You don't really feel that way. Um, you know what I mean? All that money, $600 a month. I mean, when you smoke chronic, or let's say you buy a chronic bag, but it lasts you 2 days. So that's $20 every 2 days. That's $300 a month. It's half of that. $300 a month that you could be doing something good with, but no, you're doing something bad with it instead. Something very selfish instead. Yeah, instead of like going off and being a politician, you're just gonna be a freaking no good, low life smoking weed. No one will ever know who you are. I'll never discover you. We'll never see you on the news. You'll never make any difference in this world because all you ever do is talk about your political views with your friends. Yeah, man, the government needs change. Woo! And you never do anything about it. If you have any gift, if you have any like, for instance, some people have wrote me and telling me that I'm helping them so much. I mean, I've gotten a lot. Like I can't even count how many people have wrote me so far and said that I've helped them. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I'm actually doing something. And I would never do this if I was still smoking weed. I got 4 seconds. I gotta go. Bye. Bye.